Alright guys, so this is going to be a Blu-ray update, and this is going to be all the films I've bought this year in 2023. So this was inspired after watching a couple of videos recently, two from Clay Graphics where he talked about his favourite horror films, one from Champion 2D Rob where he did a Blu-ray pickup video. So both great channels. If you don't know them, check them out. There's links in the description of this video for both Clay's channel and Rob's channel. Really great guys. So yeah, this year I've mostly been filling gaps in my collection, films that I've just not got around to buying yet. And the first two I'm going to show you from a series of films that I love. I just never got around to buying these two films for some reason. And there are a couple of brand new films that came out this year that I saw at the cinema that I decided to pick up as well. So first up, as I say, two from a series that I love that I still hadn't gotten around to picking up. So I finally got them. First one is The First Purge. Second one is The Forever Purge. So there's 5 films in the franchise. First Purge is number 4, Forever Purge number 5. So yeah, I watched them when they came out. I saw The First Purge at the cinema. Never really liked it. I didn't think it was anywhere near as good as the first 3 films that came out. But I wanted to get it for the series anyway, just to complete the series. But also, because it's been a couple of years, I thought, well, I think it came out in like 2020, 2021, somewhere around there. So I wanted to check it out again, give it another watch. And I watched it, and yeah, I still don't like it. It was okay, but it's to me, Purge Anarchy is like the benchmark. That's the best one. And I love Election Year, even though it's goofy and really over the top. I'm not that keen on the original film. It's okay, but when you've seen the sequels, the first one kind of pales because there isn't a whole lot going on with that film. You know, when you get to Purge Anarchy and they're outside with Frank Grillo, it really opens up the franchise to something more. But The First Purge, I was really hoping for more than what we got. They kind of do a quick gloss over of the new founding fathers coming to power, and then they're straight on with yet another purge. What I was hoping for was going to be a film that explored the lead up to the purge, so we're going to see how the new founding fathers came to form their government and how they got elected and why the people felt the need to elect such an extreme government and why people felt that the purge was a good idea. Instead, they just sort of glossed over it, as I say, and got straight to another purge, which kind of defeated the object of calling it the first purge for me. I wish they'd gone a little bit deeper with it. I also found like the Skeletor character was really stupid and irritated the hell out of me. And little things, as I say, the third film, Election Year, is very goofy, but it's self-aware that it's goofy, I think. It feels as though they just didn't care and they just went for it and made a crazy film. With The First Purge, it was still trying to be more serious like the rest of the films. But you have ridiculous things like gang members are able to take out professionally trained soldiers with ease, you know, without any issue at all. And I thought, no, I'm not buying that at all. It just totally took me out of the moment. And at the end of the film, when they're trapped in the bedroom of an apartment complex, and the guy throws some explosive and shoots it and blows up the soldiers, and I'm like, yeah, it'd also bring down at least half of the building, and you certainly wouldn't be sitting in that bedroom surviving. And I know it's a film, but you've got to be, you know, if you're going to set it in this kind of environment where it's sort of semi-real, could possibly happen in the future, it just got a bit stupid. I didn't enjoy it at all, and yeah, I will watch it again as I do a complete watch of the series, but it's definitely one of the lower films for me. For me, out of the 5 films, I mean, I would rank them as, at the best is Purge Anarchy, then The Forever Purge, then it would be Election Year, then it would be The First Purge, and then it would be The Purge. So yeah, Forever Purge, I really enjoyed it. The second time watching it on Blu-ray now, and it's a great film, really, really fun. It's different to the rest of them. It's got a lot of cowboy elements to it, like Western. It's very big in scope, and it's all outdoors again, like Purge Anarchy. All these films have American politics in them. Some may feel that one is a little heavy-handed. I don't know. I'm not American, obviously, but for me, it didn't bother me at all. It wasn't, you know, I didn't feel like I was being hit over the head with the border politics, and I thought it was a really well executed film and really well executed. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, some great action. Yeah, I really, really enjoyed The Forever Purge. The Forever Purge for me could beat Anarchy. They're kind of interchangeable, but I just have a lot of love for Anarchy, and every time I watch it, I thoroughly enjoy it. I never ever watch that and feel disappointed. Frank Grillo is excellent in it. So next up is a Gerard Butler film, which I've watched loads of times, and I watched it earlier in the year on Netflix and decided to pick it up on Blu-ray, and that's Law Abiding Citizen. So it's Gerard Butler and Jamie Foxx. Brilliant film if you've never seen it. The concept is simple. Gerard Butler's family are murdered, and then the two people that murdered his family are taken to trial. One is convicted, the other one gets off lightly. And so you move a few years into the future. Gerard Butler wants revenge, but he doesn't just take revenge on the people that killed his family. He takes revenge on the entire justice system. And Jamie Foxx is the prosecutor. It's a really, really cool film, and I'd recommend watching it. I love Gerard Butler anyway, and anything he's in, I'll watch it. It's a really, really fun film, and yeah, great revenge flick. Next one is a film that I never thought I was going to pick up, and I only needed this one film to fill in the gap of the series. The new film that's come out that I saw at the cinema, which was incredible. I'm hoping to get that for Christmas, but yeah, it is Mission Impossible 2. So, never liked this film. I liked it when I saw it at the cinema, but then I bought it on DVD back in the day and I hated it, and I've never gone back and watched it again. And the reason I picked this up, I was talking to Time Warp James recently, and we were discussing Mission Impossible because the new film was coming out, Dead Reckoning Part 1. And James wanted to see that, and I said to him, you really need to see all the other films, mate, because there's going to be a lot of, even in Fallout, there was a lot of callback to the original films. So, you can watch the films without knowing what happened, but it's nice to have that little bit extra because you get all the references in the new films. So, James said, I really don't like Mission Impossible 2 either, but we both agreed to pick up a copy and watch it and see what we thought. And so we did, and we had a chat about it, and James, still not a fan. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm kind of like half of the film I really enjoyed, the other half not so much. I said to James, I think when he gets to the bit where Dougray Scott pretends to be Ethan Hunt, halfway through, he does it at the beginning of the film, but halfway through the film where he tricks Tandy Newton and he pulls the mask off, and then Ethan Hunt goes and robs the lab. To me, that's when the film gets better. And yeah, it goes a bit silly, and it's John Woo that directed it, and he gets all the slow-mo and the doves, and you got all that stuff on the motorbikes at the end, and he takes out one of the villains, and it doesn't really make a lot of sense, but who cares? It's just a really fun film. It's very much of its time. Definitely of its time, the early 2000s, and is definitely not the best film in the series. For me, it's definitely right at the bottom of the pile. But, I still find it odd that they went from that brilliant Brian De Palma film in 96 to this. I don't really understand what happened there. But then JJ came in and saved it with number 3. And then from there, it just got better and better every film. And the last one, Dead Reckoning, absolutely phenomenal. So, yeah, I'm glad I've got it in the collection because it fills the gap. Whether I'll watch it a lot, I don't know. Probably not, unless I feel an urge to sit down one day when the series is finally finished and watch all of the films in one go. I probably will do that. But it was better than I remembered, so that's one good thing. Next one is a recent film. I don't know, well, I say recent, it's probably a year or so ago it came out. Jared Leto's Morbius, which is a vampire film, comic book vampire film from Sony. Yeah, it's alright, it's good. It's not brilliant, it's just an average film. I liked it more the first time I watched it than the second time, but I'll give it another go. You got Matt Smith in there as well. He's pretty decent actually. He's quite good in this. It was alright. Online I've seen people saying it's terrible. I don't think it is. It's just an okay film. Then I picked up Hollow Man, so Kevin Bacon classic. So a couple of years ago when that new Invisible Man came out from Blumhouse, I absolutely loved that. I thought it was brilliant. And I went and found Hollow Man on Amazon, rewatched it. I think it was during the pandemic actually, probably 2020. And I absolutely loved it. I thought Hollow Man held up so well that the visual effects when he changes and goes invisible, I couldn't believe how good they still looked. I thought they were going to look really rough, but no, after watching it on Blu-ray as well, it holds up really, really well. Excellent film. So if you love an Invisible Man film, you've never seen Hollow Man, highly recommend it. Really, really good. The first film I picked up from this year's cinema releases is The Flash. So absolutely love this. When it was coming out, I was a bit burnt out on comic books. I love DC more than Marvel, and I thought, well, do I really want to watch this? I love the Zack Snyder universe, but I was just a little bit bored of watching comic book films, and the last few Marvel films have been crap, so I wasn't sure. But then the trailer started coming out, and I thought, well, actually, it does look really, really good, and it was getting some hype from the critics, and I thought, okay, you don't always listen to critics, because generally if they hype a film up, I find that they've overhyped it, or if they slag a film off, I tend to like it, so we'll see. Went to cinema, absolutely loved it, it was brilliant. I thought Ezra Miller, best performance as Barry Allen, bar none, especially when he plays the two Barry Allens. the alternate Barry Allen in particular, I thought was really, really good, really funny. The comedy was great. The action was great. Michael Keaton back as Batman was phenomenal. He's not my personal favourite Batman, that's Ben Affleck. But, you know, it was just really cool to see Keaton come back and do that. And the new Supergirl, I don't know the actress, but, you know, she wasn't in it that much, but what she did was decent. But, you know, you've got Michael Shannon back as Zod. Really great action. Big battle at the end, of course, it's a comic book film. Love it, absolutely loved it. I really highly recommend it. I love the Zack Snyder universe as well, so the Snyderverse is fantastic. Right, okay, next one, Angel Has Fallen. So finally picked this one up, which, you know, I should have picked it up ages ago. I love the Fallen films. London's my favourite, followed by Quantum, followed by Olympus, followed by Angel. And I watched Angel at the cinema, wasn't that impressed with it. Watched it again on streaming, still wasn't that impressed with it. But then I looked it up how much it was for the Blu-ray. I think it's a couple of quid, literally a couple of quid. So I thought, well, just get it and put it in there and you can watch it again and see what you think. And I must admit, this time around when I watched it, I enjoyed it a lot more. Because the first two times I felt like the same as the latest Bond film, No Time to Die. It was more about the action set pieces than it was about the story. And yeah, the Fallen series don't have the greatest story. And London, as I say, is my favourite, which has the worst dialogue of them all. It's really badly written, but it's just so much fun. It's like a third-person action video game, like you're playing Uncharted or, you know, one of those great third-person games. And especially at the end when he's running down the street with a one-shot and he's just shooting people and blowing stuff up, and it's just so cool. I absolutely love that film. But Angel Has Fallen, yeah. But as I say, this time around I enjoyed it a little bit more. I really appreciated all of the action scenes. The beginning bit with the drones with Morgan Freeman was great. When he's in the forest with his dad's great. The big massive shootout at the end is phenomenal. I just felt like, I don't know, there was just something off about this film. It just doesn't connect the way that Olympus Has Fallen and London Has Fallen did. So yeah, there you go. But I'm glad I've got it in the set. And I like Gerard anyway. You can't really go wrong with any of his films. So the next one I picked up, another gap filler, is Deja Vu with Denzel. So I've watched this film absolutely loads of times. It's a Jerry Bruckheimer, Tony Scott job. And the Jerry Bruckheimer style I always like. Just something about the way they look and the way they sound that always hits the mark for me, always has done. And it's a great film. It's got Denzel Washington, Jim Caviezel, and if you've never seen it, it's a time travel film where at the beginning of the film, a load of Navy personnel are on a boat. They're in a big celebration. I can't remember what the actual American holiday is called. It might be Memorial Day, I don't know. But anyway, the boat gets blown up. Denzel's the cop investigating it. And then he finds out that the government have got this technology where they can use cameras and they can look backwards a certain amount of time and see what happened. So they use that to investigate the bombing and find out who actually did it. I won't give you more than that if you haven't seen it, but it's a really, really fun film and definitely recommend it. I've watched it over and over again. It's one of those go-to films when I've got nothing better to watch. It's a really old Blu-ray as well because it's got the old sticker there telling you need to, it plays on the PlayStation 3 and a Blu-ray player as long as you've got a HD television. So yeah, it's a proper early Blu-ray. Excellent film. Next one is Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit. So this is the only Jack Ryan film I own. I do definitely need to get the rest of them. I want to finish the series on these because I recently watched Patriot Games again and I watched Sum of All Fears, which was excellent, the Ben Affleck film. I didn't remember any of that. I know I've seen it before, but I don't remember any of it and it was really, really good. Shadow Recruit, I actually think is pretty damn decent. You've got Chris Pine as Jack Ryan, you've got his girlfriend played by Keira Knightley, and you've got Kenneth Branagh as the Russian villain. It's a proper good, espionage spy film. Probably enjoyable. Not the best Jack Ryan by any means, but I think Chris Pine does a really good job. And, after watching the John Krasinski TV show on Amazon, it's hard to compete with that. I think he's one of the best versions of Jack Ryan we've had. I need to go back and get Patriot Games, Clear and Present Danger, Sum of All Fears, and Hunt for Red October, which I honestly don't know if I've ever watched that film. Probably sacrilege to a lot of people watching because I know everyone loves that film. But yeah, I don't think I've ever watched Hunt for Red October, so I've got to correct that. Right, next one is another recent film, quite recent actually. It was Transformers Rise of the Robots. Beasts. I don't know. I can never keep up with these Transformers. Transformers Rise of the Beasts. So yes, the only Transformers film I own besides this is the first Michael Bay film with Shia LaBeouf. Love that film, it was great. Didn't like the sequel, it was terrible. The third one, I think it was called Dark Side of the Moon, was okay. I didn't mind that so much. The fourth one was shite. And the fifth one with Anthony Hopkins with the time travel, I didn't even bother. I just couldn't be arsed at that point. They're too long and they're really shit films. And then Bumblebee came out. I gave that a try and I really enjoyed that, so I need to pick that up at some point. And so when this one came out, I saw the trailer at first and I was thinking it's going to be shit, but I'll have a look at the trailer. The trailer was great and I thought, well, okay, maybe they're on the right track. Maybe this is going to be a good film. So I sat down and watched it when I got the Blu-ray. Yeah, I didn't go to cinema because I thought it was going to be terrible. It was great. It was really, really fun. It's very similar to Bumblebee. Like, human finds Transformer, builds a bond. The other Transformers come along and, you know, adventure ensues, and then you have a massive battle at the end. But you've got, I don't know enough about Transformers. When I was a kid, it was just, you know, Autobots and Decepticons and triple changes and everything. I didn't know about the animal versions of Transformers, but you've got those in this. So you've got monkeys and birds and whatnot. It's really fun. I mean, I just had a great time with it. It's a really fun Hollywood adventure. You know, it is. Let's put it this way: it's not like the other films where they're absolutely shite and they've got absolutely god awful humour in them, and they're just a mess and they're gone forever. This is short and sweet and to the point, with some great Transformers, some really fun dialogue, some great action, great battle at the end, and right at the end of the film, there's a twist where they reveal something that's going to hopefully, I assume, happen, where they're going to cross over Transformers with a different franchise, which if done right could be absolutely fantastic. So yes, very much looking forward to that one. Next one I picked up for a reason, which is Skyfall, and the reason being, I've got Skyfall already as part of a James Bond, I'm trying to think, is it a triple pack? Yeah, it was Casino Royale, Quantum and Skyfall. Unfortunately, that Blu-ray doesn't work on my Panasonic 4K player. When you get to the bit where the villain comes down in the elevator and Bond is strapped to the chair, as soon as he starts walking towards Bond, the film just freezes. And yeah, I play it on my PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, my Xbox One, works fine. Just will not work on my Panasonic 4K player. Very annoying. So I decided to pick up the 4K. I thought I'd give that a try and see if that one works. And you also get a Blu-ray in this as well. So I've got 2 Blu-ray copies. Put the 4K on, works fine, no problem at all. So well happy. So I've now got a working copy of Skyfall. Great Bond film. Not the best in the Daniel Craig's for me. Casino is still my favourite. You know, for me it goes Casino, Quantum, probably Skyfall, Spectre, No Time to Die. I think that's, yeah. Skyfall and Spectre are sometimes interchangeable depending on my mood, because I really like Spectre a lot. But yeah, great series of films. Next one I had to grab because I thought I had it and I hadn't. 2009 Star Trek reboot with Chris Pine, Zachary Quinto, Carl Urban, Zoe Saldana, Simon Pegg, and yeah, who else was in it? The guy who played the Chekhov, I can never remember his name, and John Cho, who played Sulu. Yeah, really, really fun. The J.J. Abrams era. I grew up with Star Trek, I love Star Trek. I know some hardcore Star Trek fans, they're not like this because it's too action-based. I really enjoy it, it's really fun. And the reason I picked it up, I was watching TV one Saturday, and Star Trek Beyond was on, and it was coming to the end of the film, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go back and watch all of them. I've got them on Blu-ray. Come to the collection. No, I haven't. I hadn't got Star Trek from 2009. So I was like, shit. So I went on and picked it up because it's very cheap. And I watched all 3 films. And back when they first came out and I saw them at the cinema, Into Darkness, the second one, I was never that impressed with. Beyond was my favourite, then this one, and then Into Darkness. But after watching them, I actually really enjoyed Into Darkness, and I thought, actually, Benedict Cumberbatch's Khan isn't that bad. He's pretty decent. So yeah, that was a pleasant surprise. I enjoyed that film. But Beyond is still my favourite with Idris. Absolutely great film. And the last one is a triple box set, which I picked up because I used to have a lot of steelbooks. I sold them on because I didn't want to become a Blu-ray collector. I just, you know, I buy films that I enjoy watching so I can watch them over again and physically own them. That's the only reason I buy films. So I rebought this because I haven't got it anymore. It's the Dark Knight trilogy. Ain't much to say, is there really? We all know what this is, how great it is. For me, Batman Begins is the best, followed by Dark Knight Rises, followed by Dark Knight. I know everybody loves Dark Knight. I think it's massively overrated myself. That's not to say the film's bad, it isn't. It's an absolute masterpiece. But the way people rave about that film, I've never really understood why. You know, but it's a great film. I watched it again and I enjoyed it. But for me, Begins and Dark Knight Rises are better films. you know. And I know that, you know, people go on about Bane. I really like him. I think he's really good. Even the bit when they're fighting in the snow at the end of Rises, which does look bloody weird with the rubber suits and everything, but I don't know, it kind of worked. I love Catwoman. You know, I mean, Batman Begins has got Liam Neeson in it, which is phenomenal. So yeah, great series of Batman films. So there you go. That's it. So that's the latest Blu-rays that are going in that collection over there. There's still quite a lot. I've got a massive list of films I still need to buy that I haven't picked up yet. As I say, I want to get all the Jack Ryan films for a start. They need to go in there. And there's a lots of other little bits and bobs that I haven't picked up. Plus all the films that have been released this year that I want. I've got a few on my Christmas list. So if I do get any of those, I'll post a video about those as well. And the next video I'm going to be posting is a movie collection that I'm going to be starting. And yeah, I'll go into more detail when I post the video. I've got a couple of packages that have already arrived. I'm waiting for a couple more. And I'm going to do a big unboxing and explain what I'm going to be doing. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. And thank you for watching.